Well, we did it.
Yep.
12 shows, two spin-offs, or 2 miniseries, 1 Amazon exclusive, several movies, few OVAs, or OVTs, original video tokusatsu, or OTVs, original tokusatsu video?
I have no idea.
What's the equivalent to an OVA for toku?
I don't know.
V-cinema.
Mini specials. That's what I
V-cinema.
just called them.
V-cinemas.
Yeah.
Would you expect that we ever gotten this far?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I could have called it quits anytime I wanted to.
Nice to know.
Alright, I just don't feel like Ultramaning anymore.
I see.
But I didn't because I like doing this show. That's why I haven't.
I know, that's why we've been doing this for over 100 episodes now.
Well, not over 100. We're at 100.
At 100? Well, technically, there's the Godzilla King of the Monsters special. Do you want Schwa the roll call?
Sure. Schwa the roll call!
Schwa that roll call. Eiji Tsuburaya, the man who created something from nothing. Godzilla. Ultraman. But when those who don't give his franchises enough credit, these podcasters will do it justice. For they are...
Kaiju Sentai Ultraranger!
Lover of all things Ultraman. Ultra Yellow Canister, gone.
The other son of Belial, Ultra Pinkcaster Lane!
Sprung the love on one of Japanese beloved franchises.
Kaiju Sentai Ultraranger! Shra!
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Kaiju Sentai Ultraranger, episode 100.
Okay.
Also known as a 100.
Sorry, hang on. I gotta get an air horn.
Oh, okay.
It's that kind of special. I wish I could get like an Ultraman themed air horn, but that'd be stupid.
Yeah.
Yay! I'm Ultra Pinkcaster Lane.
And I'm your host, Ultra Yellow Caster Gar.
Yep, 100 episodes.
Yep.
We're talking about giant beings of light.
Yeah,
They're not even really made of light. They only light up when they're transforming. That's basically it.
yeah, they're mostly made of latex.
Yeah, so it should be called giant beings of latex.
Like, yeah, it's just Cast Ranger. Oh, we do live script reads every 100 episodes. Ultra Ranger.
We're gonna have lengthy discussions about what we think of the said franchise we like talking about.
Yeah, it's like, instead of, try and figure out what to talk about as a special feature topic, we just decided, let's do a discussion.
Yeah, pretty much we're just gonna talk about how Ultraman has changed for us now that we've done 100 episodes of a podcast related to Ultraman. So, because I remember, like, when I started out, like, we started this show, I was just like, Ultraman's cool.
Yeah.
But we'll get into it later, so.
Yeah.
So this week we're talking about Ultraman and Ultraman Tiga, episodes 23, and...
We were very shorthanded with what else.
So, like, we were going to watch Taiga, but one episode Taiga, but then it became a two-parter, and we're like, well, fuck it, we just want to do two-parters together. And then we were going to do Gridman, but then we were like, we should just wait till Gridman, till next time we actually have to do it.
Yeah.
And then, so we just decided, fuck it, we'll talk about the 3 Taiga audio dramas that are about Fuma's origins.
Yeah. So it's like what a coincidence that a batch of the Tri-Squad voice drama came out, and one of which is the origins of Ultraman Fuma. The other Ultraman from Planet 050.
The other white meat.
The other white meat.
No.
We started the show with Ultraman Orb.
We'll finish it with Orb.
We'll end it with Orb as well, but no. We started the show by visiting Warrior's Peak, and we've entered episode 100 at Warrior's Peak.
Mm-hmm.
What are the odds of that?
Whoa.
Whoa. But yeah,
no news.
unfortunately, no news.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about the Ultra 7 boots.
The one thing.
Yeah, there's Ultra 7 boots.
Yeah, there's Ultra 7 boots.
They look pretty cool. So you can stomp your feet in puddles and just go 7, 7, 7, 7, 7.
I guess if there's anything big to talk about news-wise, it's...
The Ultraman DVD Blu-rays are out now.
No, they're coming out next week.
Oh, I don't know. People have been getting them.
Mill Creek employees have them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now Gar's contemplating his life whether I shouldn't get the Steelbooks now.
Yeah.
I might buy Gene on Blu-ray. I'm not sure yet.
I'm just thinking, like, well, there is Ultraman Nice celebrated his 20th anniversary this week. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, just nice. Excuse me.
So let's get an Ultraman.
Sure.
Shrek! So episode 23, My Home is Earth. So
we thought episode 22. No, episode 22 was disturbing with its whole like psychedelic film like photography.
So for this episode, because like I said last episode, apparently what they just want to keep doing is every episode they just try something new. So this one time they wanted to make it super tragic and depressing.
This
and
is a kid show.
They fucking did that. So the kaiju of this week is the cohabitating monster Jamila. So
tragic.
So we have Paris HQ again, and this time first we had fucking Jim, then we had Anne, and now we have Monsieur Allen. So we have Alan from the Paris HQ, who's come to like investigate planes and like boat and plane accidents that are happening, where like planes are just flying like normal, and then they just explode, killing hundreds of fucking people. Boats are exploding too, and then we get like this scene of like a guy being chased by cops because apparently in Tokyo he ran over and killed an old man and like a kid.
Oh no!
So like this cop's chasing him, and then all of a sudden the car just stops and explodes.
How funny would it have been if that was like a segue into like another show that they had?
Maybe.
Like in another Subaraya show, someone got hit by a car, and it's like, oh, if you want to know what happens, go watch Ultraman.
Go watch Ultra Q. Ultra Q season 2, not happening.
It did happen, just very many years later.
So they're like trying to wonder what the fuck's going on, and like they're here, like the Science Patrol's hearing rumors about like invisible walls that's like stopping people. So like they drive to the scene where like the exploding car happened, and then they also get stuck in an invisible wall. But it turns out it's not an invisible wall; it's an invisible rocket, and it just happened to be launching while the car was while the car was stuck in it.
Yeah.
So these invisible rockets have been destroying planes and boats and stuff. So
are they invisible?
I don't know. So Ide and Fuji, they decide to like in the VTOL, they decide to try to shoot it down, but like Ide can't aim for shit.
What?
And like Fuji keeps like complaining to him, and he's like, "I'm trying my best, bitch. Okay, so fuck off."
All right, you made me carry all your luggage that one time. This is payback. I'm not shooting right today.
Yeah. So they're just trying to like figure out what the fuck's going on.
Well, Cap's figuring out where it's like, well, maybe it's not invisible. Maybe it's just it's going so fast
We can't perceive it.
Yeah, you can't perceive it.
Yeah, so he has like he shows like an example of like a spinning wheel of color, and it's like, say if you spin it really fast, it's just like gray color, and you can't see all the colors on it, and
or it's like with it's like a sporks on a bike.
Yeah, it's like spindles on a bike.
Yeah.
So like if you spin it, it just looks like there's only one there.
Yeah. Or
like a solid thing. So yeah, they determined that they're just going so fast that you just can't see them, which is weird because. So then they go into like the forest where to like investigate some more, and they bring Alan with them. So he's like in a science patrol uniform as well. And it's funny because like you can tell he's dubbed over again.
Oh yeah, he's clearly speaking English.
Yeah.
But he's supposed to be speaking he's supposed to be native to Paris or France.
Native France. Yeah.
So maybe he's speaking French and we don't know it.
The guy who was dubbing him though did sound like it was like a white dude, so you could tell it's like Mr. Kurakatsu. And then all of a sudden they just get attacked by this giant fucking monster.
Well, Ide makes up some weapons: the alpha, beta, and gamma rays.
Oh yeah, because they're like trying to like locate one of these invisible rockets,
which they found it, and it was a flying saucer.
Yeah, it was just a flying saucer.
Yeah, they break they knock it down to go into the woods to go find them. Like this is now just a straight up independent film.
Yeah, and what's weird, the saucer it looked like a colorless hamburger. So it had like some flaps outside of it that kind of looked like cheese, so it's gonna look like a burger.
Cheese.
So yeah, so they go into the woods, and then all of a sudden like they see this giant monster, and
they see Jamila.
Well, Alan says Jamila, and like they don't know what the fuck that means.
How does he know what that means?
Well, we'll get to that. So we see Jamila, and just oh boy, it's such a weird looking kaiju.
Like, it looks like a lazy design, but then you get into its actual origins.
So
it's dark.
Yeah, so like it's running really awkwardly. And it was funny because like when Gar saw it, like I go back into the room when he's watching it, and he just see him like imitating how he's running. He's like,
because he doesn't have any shoulders.
No.
So like his
giant long meaty arms.
And his arms are just like flailing.
And he has no neck.
Yeah, he doesn't have a neck. His face is in his like body.
Yeah, and you can tell like you can tell like he has like light bulbs like in his
eyes.
Yeah,
you can tell where the human's actually looking because you see the air holes on his chest.
Yeah, and then if you like look at his eyes, you can see like the light bulbs in the eyes. So that was pretty neat. And so they're sitting at a campfire, and it's like a really cool shot of just them sitting at the campfire, and then you see like Cap like smoking a cigarette, and just they go up to Alan. They're just like, "All right, you called it Jamila. What the fuck do you know?" And he's like, "This is a really like hard story to tell." He's like, "Well, we're already this far. You might as well fucking tell us what happened. What's this thing's deal?" So
why are you actually here?
So he explains, "Yeah, Jamila's not a kaiju. He's a human being." So apparently, so we pretty much figured out that this like they stopped the continuity, like the whole thing where it's like, oh, this takes place in the year 1993.
Yeah, at the end of the episode, it confirms that this takes place in the year 1993.
But later they just made it, it's 66.
But in 1971, with the return of Ultraman, they retconned it, or 1972 with Ultraman Ace, whichever. They retconned it to be that the shows take place in their respective year.
Yeah.
However, that means this entire episode is retconned.
Yeah, it's like non-canon pretty much, which kind of sucks.
It's not canon, but it's so heartbreaking and depressing.
So during like the space race, there was like an astronaut named Jamila who got launched into space, and he crash landed on another planet, and he was like experimented on, stuff like that, and so he crashed on a planet that had like no oxygen, no water, and so like I'd say probably Mars or something, I don't fucking know.
Whichever planet, basically he got lost.
He got lost
in space.
Somehow he survived on this planet, but it altered him like
to be what we see him as.
Yeah, and like it's like his cry is so disturbing. So like Gar looked up what his cry is.
It's depressing to think that Jamila's roar is apparently a very low pitch sound of a baby crying.
Yeah, so it's like whoa, and it sounds like he's dying. And like the thing is, so like also the big important thing is like they're trying to stop this thing because there's like a giant peace conference that's about to happen between all these different nations, and they want to make sure that happens, because if it doesn't, like there goes a chance for peace for like a long time.
Peace in our time.
Yeah, peace in our time. So they go to they wanted to go kill Jamila because they know like if we don't kill this thing, like it's going to destroy the peace conference. Ide objects to it because he's like, that's a human fucking being, like we can't just do that to him.
But frankly, Alan tells him the truth. It's like, listen, Paris HQ, they just want us to consider it a monster, kill it, be done with our day.
Yeah, like it's not there. Whatever part of human that was left in him, it's gone. Which I don't believe. I like to think that there was a part of him still conscience, like yeah. Sorry, just
there was still a bit of him
still
left
inside, and he was suffering, and he just wanted his suffering to end. He was like in so much pain. So like they try like hurting him with like fire, but he's like, you know, he has the ability to breathe fire, so he's strong against it. Like he doesn't hurt him, but water is actually thing. So they shoot like rain making bombs on him, and like it starts raining on him, and you can tell it's like hurting him so badly, and you can tell like he has like gray paint on him, so you see like the paint starting to like wear off. And then like you see, I saw this one shot of like this guy like running away with like a chicken. He was like holding a chicken.
Yeah.
And then this kid starts like fucking running around this village. Hayate notices him, runs towards him, and then he picks up like a pigeon. Like he has like a pet pigeon or something. I'm like, who the fucking gives a shit about this bird? So Hayate just scoops him up without fucking any hesitation, brings him over to the woods, and then he runs over, turns to Ultraman, and I guess the kid saw him because he was like, what the fuck? Like, so like that kid now knows that Hayate's Ultraman.
Oh yeah, but no, just you mentioned like the guy with the chicken. It kind of reminded me of an episode of MASH where like they had to evacuate the unit because like I think some attacks were coming over the mountain range. So like they all had to evacuate quickly. You see everyone grabbing supplies and such. You see Klinger, who's the crossdresser, if you remember.
Yeah.
You see him running with a bunch of like dresses, like on a wheel thing, with a bunch of animals.
That's funny.
And it's like, Klinger, can't you leave all this behind? Oh no, they're made by like certain people. And he's like, all right, fine.
That's funny. So he goes Ultraman, he starts fighting him, and like, you know, he's hitting him, and like
he sprays water at him.
Yeah, because remember, Ultraman has the ability to shoot water.
Yeah, we saw that in the episode with the starfish monster, right?
And then with the oil drum.
Yeah, the oil
refinery. And that's how we know that Orb Space Team Superion has the ability to shoot water, because we always wondered like, how the fuck can he do that? But it's an Ultraman ability. And just the fucking saddest death I've ever seen in this show of a kaiju, like even worse than Jiris. Because like he's shooting him with water and like it's fucking killing him. And then he's just like rolling in a pile of mud and you just hear his roar. Like it's just like, yeah, again, it's like a pitched down baby's cry. So, and then you just see his hand and then he just dies like in a pile of mud and just, that's it. Like, he's gone, and it just zooms out, has this really fucking sad music playing, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my god.
This is a kid's show. Why is it so dark?
Well, like, the subject matter, like, I guess just kids can handle that bit better, so...
I guess.
It was the 60s, it was a different time for, like... Because remember, like, throughout the decades of television, like, you know, subject matter changes, but, like, at that time, like, that was probably acceptable. Nowadays, it's like you can't have shit like that because it's like a bit too...
Oh, the concept of death being a kid show nowadays? That doesn't exist.
Well, I mean, it does kind of now, but like 10 years ago, you wouldn't have that happening.
Oh, no, you can... No. Like, best example that I can think of is from Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. They legit killed off a ranger. Like, whatever her name was.
Kendricks.
Yeah, Kendricks. They killed her off. Because the actress actually had to leave the show.
Leukemia.
Yeah. But, yeah, basically, she died, and then she comes back at the end of the show.
It's like, oh, I'm fine.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm okay. It's like, oh, okay. But it's like, still, she died. That's a bit tragic.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays in Power Rangers, they
get destroyed.
Yeah, I don't think they can say the word death.
I'm pretty sure Beast Morphers has been doing it.
Beast Morphers, Hasbro's, you know, slowly,
they got a bit more balls.
Yeah.
But yeah, just seeing this thing just die in like a pile of mud was just so fucking sad. And like Ide just felt so bad about it. Because he was like, we just killed a fucking human being.
I didn't want any of this.
So they make like a memorial of him, and did you write down like the message and the flag?
No, I didn't.
So it was something just about like, here lies like a man who, you know,
who gave his life for science.
Yeah, who gave his life above and beyond for the greatness of humanity and science, and like
we should have murdered him.
So apparently he was only 33 years old, because according to the plaque, he was born in 1960, died in 1993.
Which, now that makes me question the manga of Ultraman. You know, that's like the 2011 manga of Ultraman. It's supposed to take place, like, it retcons any other series.
Yeah.
So it's just the original
Ultraman happened, and that's it.
So does that mean that story takes place in the future because this takes place in 1993?
Maybe.
Or is that being like, oh, it's like, oh, actually, yeah, it would kind of make more sense if it takes place in the 90s. Because then it would make sense why Hayata's around when there's like all this brand new technology and he's not like freaking 90.
Yeah. But yeah, and it just ends with like Ide just kind of like giving him a proper send-off, and like everyone's calling his name, but you just see like Ide's face is shadowed by the sunset. And like apparently the peace conference went magnificently. Like it went really well. So
that's nice.
Yeah, Ide just feels bad.
He didn't want this.
He didn't want it. Not like this.
Not like this.
Kaijus are supposed to fight.
See, this is why we make kaijus mindless. This is why we get emotional when kaijus have backstories, like Alien Knuckle in episode 10 of Tiga. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so like this was just a really good episode because it really like it was just tragic.
Just after I want something. I want good old fun Ultraman again.
I know.
After 2 weeks.
We need Hoshino back.
We need Hoshino back at least one more time.
Yeah, before he breaks his leg skiing.
Like maybe that's why Alan was there.
I don't know. Yeah, so on to Taiga. So, episode 23 of Tiga, the world of the dinosaurs. It's funny because 97 was when The Lost World came out.
Oh shit.
Actually, I'm interested. When did The Lost World come out? Probably a summer.
I don't think it came out in February of 1997. Though at this point, I was at least 10 days old. When this episode came out, I was 10 days old.
May 19th, 1997.
Okay, so yeah, a few months before.
Yeah.
But
They knew.
They knew.
So this episode was interesting. So it's all about dinosaurs. And it's about this race of aliens who we never actually see. They're just in a giant spaceship above Earth, but they're called the Naga. And like we hear like this one voice of just like, we're the Naga! We're gonna fucking invade the shit out of you guys!
Launch the nukes!
So, apparently their story was they have existed for like millions of years, and millions of years ago, back in the Cretaceous period of the dinosaurs existing, they took a bunch of dinosaurs and weaponized them, turned them into cyborgs, and buried them underground to wake them millions of years later to destroy humanity and wipe them out, because they have neutron bombs. And and so there's these two mini like reptile people that the Naga created, and their names are, get this, Adam and Eve, because of course.
Wait, were they created by the Naga?
I think so. Like it was something like they were reptiles, but then they were evolved into like human reptile people.
Maybe they're just the last of their race.
I think
and like they teamed up with the alien Naga.
Well, yeah, to like help them, but like obviously they were being used and
they're
stuff.
using you.
So yeah, so like Daigo and Hori go to check out like one of the dinosaurs they uncovered, and so like
oh yeah, so what's the problem with this dinosaur? well, just look. Holy shit! It's like 50 meters tall. How? There are no dinosaurs that big. Maybe except for like a Brachiosaurus.
Yeah, but I love it. Like the kaiju of this week was called the Weaponizer.
Yeah, it's dinosaur weapons.
Gar
weaponizer.
fucking lost his shit when he first saw
They're
them.
just called weaponizers.
And they have like, you found it funny because he had like a long dated neck or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, ah!
Yeah, the dinosaur designs this episode made me laugh so hard. Because it's like, by this point in 1997, we know what actual dinosaurs look like now. So it's not like with Zyuranger where we have a T-Rex on, like, standing high up. It's like, no, that's not how they actually are. But Super Eyes is like, dinosaur.
So the Weaponizer's roar is apparently a reused Rodan roar.
Okay.
I don't honestly remember what Rodan sounds like ever. So, okay.
Which Rodan?
I don't know. And the Weaponizer's appearance is based off the Tarbosaurus. So, I'm gonna...
It's just a Tyrannosaurus.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, if you look it up, it just looks like any other T-Rex.
Oh, yeah, so it does. It's a Tarbosaurus.
Now, Cell was here, he'd be like, oh...
Let me call him up now. Hey, Cell, was there any history of the Tarbosauruses being weaponized into cybernetic organisms? What? Sure, Lane. Don't call me again.
Lane, I'm currently busy getting bone.
He's on an archaeological dig.
He's fixing a divot.
So this like Adam who we see, he looks like Takashi from Gridman, kind of. Like I just showed Gar.
Okay, bold haircut with glasses. Everyone's Takashi.
He's
now.
an asshole. Yeah, everyone's Takashi.
What an asshole.
And then they meet this woman whose name is Eve, and like she tries to fight Daigo and Hori, but like she gets knocked out or something. But she planted like a bomb to like kind of release Weaponizer. Yeah. So she gets knocked out. They bring her back to the gut space or whatever like that.
Yeah, or the TPC headquarters.
But then
no, I don't think they bring her to TPC.
They bring her
because they're on land.
Okay, well.
Fucking somewhere.
Shinjo's sister was there, so...
Well, it was probably she was in the neighborhood. I was in the neighborhood.
I guess so. So then, like, the Weaponizer is, like, starting to attack, so all of Guts gets deployed, including...
Yazumi.
Yeah, like, the boss is just like, aren't you coming? You're just gonna stay here? What?
Really?
You need my intelligence? He just dies. Just immediately dies.
I would have laughed if he doesn't know how to run like a... You know what? That would be it. He's book smart, but he's not, like, field work smart.
Yeah.
I think that should have been his character trope.
I think so, too, yeah.
Like here, just he has a blaster. What's this?
So the nurse is, like... So Shinjo's sister's gonna, like, fucking...
Miami.
Yeah, Miami. She's, like, gonna, like...
Do a physical.
Does a physical. So, like, Daigo has his back turned, but Hori doesn't, and Daigo just goes... Turn your fucking back around.
Oh, right.
He's like, oh, right, sorry, okay.
But then, like, Mayumi screams because this Eve has, like, dinosaur hands.
Reptile hands!
Yeah, she has reptile hands. Which I just started thinking of, like, as much as what Doug Walker and them have done, I still laugh at their old joke of his brother being a dinosaur. Like, that's all I just started thinking of. Just, I'm a dinosaur.
I'm a dinosaur.
I'm a dinosaur. Oh, Godzilla. I like kaijus as well.
So like Daigo tries to make them like make Eve listen to reason and just be like you're being used.
You gotta listen to reason.
Yeah, so these these things are gonna like fucking kill us all and we have to stop them. So then Adam decides to unleash a second weaponizer, so there's two of them.
I just want to know how many they actually have.
I think they just had the two. Because I guess they thought... Because, well, according to Hori, if both of them connect together, the neutron bombs are going to set off and destroy all of humanity.
Perfectly balanced.
Just like all things should be.
Where it is against Thanos.
So Adam's like just crazy and like he gets like almost gets attacked, but then like he gets like a part of his face ripped off and you see like the reptile skin underneath, but then he patches it back up. So then like Eve joins them and like
I'm just expecting Dennis Hopper to show up.
And she's like monkey. And she's like, Adam, you gotta listen to reason.
Adam, you gotta listen to reason.
That's over.
Like just Adam accidentally hits Eve because she got in the way.
And
fucking
she
bitch.
falls down a building in this really funny shot where you can tell it's not actually her falling off a building, and then Daigo like jumps after her. He looks even worse.
He looks worse because he has his legs together when he jumped.
Yeah.
You can tell he's obviously not green screen.
It's just a still shot.
Yeah, it's just a still shot. They took the shot, I don't think it's actually them moving. They just took a picture of them like that, and it's just...
Also, Guard finding a cool shot of, like, Weaponizer in the background while, like, Adam was talking.
Oh, yeah.
So that was cool. So then, like, Adam thinks Eve's gone, but then, like, Daigo turns into Tiga, and he, like, grows super big, and it was a really cool shot, and, like, he's just like, holy shit!
Yeah, and that's when you remember just how big Ultramen are compared to humans.
Yeah, they're huge.
They're huge.
So he goes to fight, like, one of the Weaponizers, because, like, one of them's deactivated for now.
Yep.
And then, like, he starts fighting them together, and just... One of them, like, he turns Sky-type. I don't know why.
Because he hasn't turned Sky-type in, like, a long time.
That's probably the reason why, like, production-wise, but... No, Power-type would be so much better.
Yeah, but he abuses Power-type so much.
Yeah, it's because it's his best form. So he, like, uses some ability to, like, freeze them. And he takes both their bombs before they go off, flies into space, because he goes back to multi-type and he flies into space. And then he finds the Naga ship, mothership, and just hucks the bombs at him. Bam!
Zeppelian Ray.
Yeah, Zeppelian Ray, bam, destroyed. He destroys Naga. So then, like, we see a thing that we don't normally see. We see him de-henching back into Daigo.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And so he talks to Adam and Eve, and he's like, guys, like, you know, we need to work together. Like, we can, like, you know, if you just have...
We can coexist together as race.
And they just go, no, we've caused too much trouble and damage that can't be undone. Like, we don't deserve to coexist with you guys, so we're just going to go home and find a new place to live.
Wait, what? Bye, Ultraman Tiga.
And then he, like, we briefly see what they actually look like, and then they fuck off.
Yeah. How funny would it have been if they were like those, like the lizard man from like the first episode of Star Trek?
Oh, that'd be so funny. Oh, look, fucking...
Yeah.
Like,
everyone knows the iconic like lizard monster that I'm
Kirk
talking
fights,
about.
yeah.
That Kirk fights. Everyone knows that.
And you know the signature move in Star Trek is always just a double-fisted punch.
Double fist. That doesn't. That sounds like the stupidest move. Optimus Prime did it, and he beat Megatron in the movie. I'm not gonna say anything else.
Also in Dragon Ball, they used a lot.
Like legit, that's how
Vegeta would be like
that's how Optimus beat freaking Megatron. Just like last bit of energy, just wham,
yeah.
like a golf swing, just. Or
so like this is a cool episode of Tiga. Like I like the concept of dinosaurs. So I like that they had like a theme around it, and that an alien race, like, you know, they didn't wipe out all the dinosaurs. They just weaponized a couple and sealed them underground to use them for later.
I mean, to be fair, that's what we would probably do with dinosaurs if they were around. Can you imagine, like, again, if you watch Ancient Aliens at night, you know, like the dinosaurs were like fought in World War II.
Oh my god, imagine dinosaurs still like existed like throughout all of history, and just like during World War II, like we're riding on raptors with like fucking machine guns.
Well, we wouldn't be able to tame them.
Oh, we would. We would find a way.
You think we would have found a way?
I think we would have found a way to tame dinosaurs. We'd have had them under our control.
So what, we'd be living like the Flintstones then?
No, we'd be living like the end of Dino Charge.
That's a lot of shit.
Like, instead of horses, we'd be riding raptors into battle and stuff. Imagine having like a pet raptor.
So would that mean every other animal goes like extinct then?
No, like
I mean, birds are the closest thing that we have to dinosaurs nowadays. So like, what, do birds just not exist?
No. It's just like I think dinosaurs, they would have evolved too because of like climate changes and stuff like that. But if a meteor didn't crash into Earth, I think we would have still had dinosaurs. They just would have been slightly more different. That's my theory.
You want to know the funniest thing? Remember how in okay, you know the mechs in Power Rangers Dino Thunder, right?
No.
So in Alba Ranger, when the meteorite crashed on Earth, it split the planets into two. So there's our world where dinosaurs wiped out, and all the other dinosaurs went to this pocket Earth.
Oh, is that where Alba Black's from?
Yeah. And they're not mechanized.
Hmm.
That's legit how they evolved.
Wow.
They evolved over time to become those metal dinosaurs.
That's great.
And they can speak.
Well, fucking...
One of the best lines in that show is, "Oh, we don't really like the humans. The buzzsaw dinosaur. They don't have saws in their heads." And I take a screenshot of that, send it to everyone I know, and be like, this is why we can't take Super Sentai seriously.
Yeah.
Because we get stupid shit like this that I love.
Yeah. So yeah, I like this episode just because I liked how they really focused on the theme of dinosaurs. And honestly, Weaponizer looked fucking cool. It was just a cyber upgraded,
I want these guys to make a comeback.
yeah.
I want a Weaponizer
We
vinyl.
have like new fucking modernized version of Weaponizer. That'd be sick. Bring back the Naga! Bring back the alien Nagas. That'd be awesome.
They found another planet. They breed.
Yeah.
Civilization. They have their own Jesus.
You know what we need back in Ultraman? Fucking Bolton.
Bolton actually hasn't made an appearance in New Generation, aside from the one quick cameo in the X movie.
Wasn't he in Kinga?
Nope.
Oh. I'm thinking of the other one.
Oh, Cameraman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a fun episode, Tiga.
Yeah.
Now onto the audio dramas.
Cue the Tiger bumper. Huh?
So yeah, so this is the 3-part of A Loser's Son.
Oh, what a loser.
So pretty much this is just all about Fuma's origins and so of course he's from planet 050.
Yeah.
And, so the Warrior's Peak legend is still true. The one that Guy and Juggler visited, so Guy would get his powers to become Ultraman Orb. So apparently Fuma was this son of a loser who tried to climb White Warrior's Peak but gave up halfway and just decided, whatever. Because Warrior's Peak is a very big-ass mountain surrounded with a year-round blizzard, and it's just if you do not, prepare yourself for it, you will die.
I just find it hilarious that Fuma mentions, he starts walking down the mountain. And I'm walking down? I actually rewatched the Origin Saga quickly because I got a bit emotional about this being our 100th episode and how we start with the Origin Saga. And I clearly see Guy and Juggler climbing the mountain.
Getting down is always easier than getting up.
Yeah, but it's
well, he said he had a safe way. He had a safe route.
Was there an escalator that they didn't know of?
No, it was just probably a nice drawn path. It's like when you in Elder Scrolls Skyrim when you have to go up to the tallest mountain in Skyrim and there's just stairs. There's 1,000 fucking stairs that you just climb. Bam, you're there. You're at the top of the mountain.
Or Mount Hornet.
So he's pretty much Fuma's not the nice guy you think he is because he's kind of a scammer. So he scams people out of money, pretending oh, I'm gonna go buy you some gear to get you up Warrior's Peak. So he meets this 4-armed amphibious alien named Garg.
Yeah, Garg.
We're just gonna call him Greg.
It's literally just the word Greg if you put the R-E in.
Switch the E and R.
If you switch to E and R.
So he meets this Greg person, and
my name is Greg.
Yeah, so Greg is trying to climb up Warrior's Peak to get the powers of an Ultraman because he's already a hero of justice, but he wants to be an even better hero of justice.
And another thing that Greg wants to prove is that he is. Just because he's a monster doesn't mean he's not worthy.
Yeah, so he wants to see if, I have to have a human form to, become an Ultraman.
Which, how to properly depict him. Imagine 4 arms from Ben 10 and the Merman fused together.
Yeah,
or not Merman, Swamp Thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of as. Or that amphibious creature from Ultraman. Or the baby and his mother.
Oh, the Raygon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I just thought of him, but with 4 arms.
He fought the Green Bastard in there.
Oh my god. So Fuma meets him and he's like, "Oh, you're pretty cool." And like, it's weird because he's like this amphibious monster, but like he's like has like ninja abilities and he can shoot like light shurikens. He can like project images of himself.
So he's Jiraiya.
Essentially. So he like Fuma's like, "Yeah, I'll take you up Warrior's Peak or whatever like that." And then he's like, "Oh, well, before we like climb any further, I have to like get you some better gear." So he like takes his money and he scams them, but then he runs into some bandits, and the bandits are like, "Oh, scamming another person, I see. Well, we're gonna fuck you up." And then Greg comes down and he's like, "It's like, well, are you gonna do something about this guy who stole your money?" He's like, "You guys are causing trouble." So he turns fucking huge and like scares them off.
It doesn't say how huge, but he's cool.
I'd like to say he went like probably like 40 meters tall. 30, 40.
I wouldn't say that big. I at least want to say like 20.
Okay.
2015. Like big enough that he's not like Ultraman size.
Okay. I was thinking Ultraman size when you said he grew gigantic.
You know what? Probably 10 meters. Because
Because
that's how tall Orb started out as.
Oh yeah.
So he was probably just 10 meters tall.
Okay. So then like he's like, well, Fuma just decides to stick with Greg and so it's like, oh, let's go back to like my hometown or something. And then so they open up like a thing because they decide, oh, we need to do like virtuous deeds to like prove ourselves more to Warrior's Peak that we can like I can get this power. So they open up a shop where I guess they like help people. So I guess they just like they hire them to like help them out with like anything. Good deeds, yeah. And so like, you know, and they're making money and like Greg's like, I don't think that's very virtuous making money. He's like, well, we need to eat. Like we're gonna fucking die. Mm-hmm. So I guess so like a few years have gone by and they've just been doing this shit together and like Greg trains Fuma and like his techniques and stuff, so then he like knows how to be like a ninja. Because, like, he makes some things, like, well, think about something. Like, I always think about, like, the cool, like, nice, calm waves of, like, the ocean in my home planet. And like, he's like, well, what do you think of? And Fuma's like, well, I think about, like, you know, the soft speedness of the wind. And he's like, okay, well, think about that when you're trying to move.
Try to move like me. Bitch, I didn't even see you move and you're behind me. I don't know how to do that. So,
Greg decides to go off, like, to Warrior's Peak by himself. And then it just doesn't come back, and I guess he's gone for a while. I have no idea how much time has passed. Like, I think like a year or something, or like a few weeks, maybe.
I want to say like 2 months, like a few months at least. Not long enough to be a year, but basically a few months.
Yeah,
like, he just never showed up again.
Mm-hmm. So then, the Interstellar Alliance are like, yeah, there's this monster that's been terrorizing people who've been trying to go up Warrior's Peak. So can you stop him? And obviously it was Greg. So I don't know why Greg's been attacking people.
Maybe he just wasn't worthy.
So
you're not worthy.
Yeah, so Fuma goes to fight him and then he fights him and like, you know, he's teaching him, showing off his techniques that he taught him. And then all of a sudden, like, they both get shot.
Yeah, like not like a laser sound effect or like a blast sound effect.
Gun.
It was a straight up gun sound effect.
So apparently they were interested in killing Greg, but they also wanted to kill Fuma because he was affiliated with Greg.
Yeah, so the Interstellar Alliance, you know, fooled Fuma into this.
Yeah. But like they survive and Greg like takes them to the top of Warrior's Peak and he tries to like talk to the giant ring, being like, "Oh, take this man, like he's a good-hearted person. He may have like a big mouth on him, but like he's really good." And like that doesn't do anything. And so then like Fuma's dying, and like
Fuma accepts his death. Though.
Yeah, he accepts his fate, and then he wakes up. Greg's gone, so it's assumed he died.
He probably is dead.
And he wakes up and he realizes he grew fucking huge, and he became Ultraman Fuma. So it's interesting to know now that Fuma does have like a human form. He just refuses to revert back to that form. He decides to stay as an Ultraman.
Well, maybe it's like if he reverts back, he may, die.
Or may lose it.
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, because, that's the thing. People from 50, they're fucking, they live a long ass time, so God knows how long he's been an Ultraman. Well, supposedly he's like...
He's the youngest of them all. He's like 9... No, he's not 9,000. He's like 40...
I think he's 4,800 years old.
Yeah, he's the youngest of the three.
Mm-hmm.
Which he's only like 4,000, because we know Titus is 9,000 years old.
Yeah, and then... yeah, I'm just gonna...
Tiga's like in between. He's like 5,300 and something.
Oh, so Fuma's 5,000 years old, Taiga's 4,800, and Titus is 9,000.
Oh, okay, so...
Yeah, so Taiga is the youngest. Yeah, he does have a good design on him. So yeah, we got this like really cool image of him like standing above like the circle of light that like turned him into an Ultraman. In a circle of light. But yeah, so he does have a human form, as we do know. And it's funny how he like says a thing where he's like, "Oh, I don't care. I'm always gonna speak whatever's on my mind. I'm gonna yell out the name of my techniques." And so, like, I'm guessing that like his powers of being an Ultraman, and like his ninja powers he uses, those are just abilities he has already. They're amplified because he's an Ultraman. But I'm assuming he has some Ultraman techniques. He just probably incorporates them into his techniques. So. Yeah, so he just decides, and I just don't want to revert back ever to my regular form. I like being an Ultraman. And,
Tiger question, he's like, why didn't I get Orb, Rosso, and Blue, as the Ultralets when you're from 050?
He's like, oh, do you want them? And he's like, no, I'm okay using Gingan Victory. So... And then, like, Titus and them are just like, oh my god, I didn't realize you had such, like, a tragic past. And it's like, oh, I underestimated you. And Fuma's like, shut the fuck up, guys, you're embarrassing me.
A son of a famous Ultraman, a traitor's son, and a loser's son.
Yeah, and then Taika just goes into, like, oh, well, I went to the time when I went to go see Phyllis. Yeah, we've already heard this one.
It's like, who's Phyllis? Well, it all began. It's like, I don't care. I feel like I've heard this before. And it's like, eh.
Yeah, so it was really good to get a look on Fuma's origin. So, like, I have more respect for him now, because, like, I just kind of don't like him personality-wise, because, like, he's kind of a loudmouth, but
it's nice that we, like,
deep down, he's, like, a good guy.
Like, we all know their backstory now. We all have their origins.
Mm-hmm.
Now we just need to figure out how they got together.
Which I think we will.
Which the audio dramas after this will probably explain how they all met and how they all became the Tri-Squad.
Mm-hmm.
You know I wouldn't doubt? I wouldn't doubt that story takes place in between Ultra Galaxy fight New Generation heroes.
Mm-hmm.
It would explain why Taiga's not there.
Hmm.
They all just got together then there.
Oh, probably. Oh, okay.
What?
So apparently he lost his humanoid form. So he's always an Ultraman. He can't turn back.
Probably sacrificed his body.
Yeah.
Or you know what? That's what probably happened. Greg probably sacrificed himself.
So he could become an Ultraman.
Yeah, sacrificed his own life to save Fuma, but in the consequences, he cannot change back.
Yeah. So
I saved you, and you became an Ultrabot. Like you now have a body. Because the whole thing that Fuma was talking about was that his whole family talks about how the body is just a vessel that cannot contain everything.
Yeah, so he's like, you got to figure out how much you can actually keep in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting, yeah. And that makes sense as to why, like, when he woke up as an Ultraman, like, he noticed Greg was gone. So, yeah, Greg probably sacrificed himself.
Religious sacrifice.
There you go. No, well, because like, I think Greg just figured out that, like, Fuma was the more worthy one.
Well, we knew Greg wouldn't have made it.
No.
Because, he's an amphibian creature, and Fuma mentions that how, like, being in the cold winter area, he will die.
Yeah, unless you have, like, the proper stuff.
Yeah.
Good audio. Good voice dramas.
Good voice dramas. Now I just need to wait for the rest of the show to get done.
Yep.
We're going on to episode 15 this week. We're only on episode 11. Whoops.
Oops.
So it's not our fault that, a subgroup who's also doing Kamen Rider 01 is also doing it. And keep in mind, there are 4 subgroups doing Kamen Rider 01, but only one doing Ultraman Tiga.
Yeah. I don't know why they're not doing Ultraman.
Oh,
Fucking do it!
it's like how freaking everyone has told us, just no one cares about Ultraman.
Mm-hmm. We do.
Well, yeah.
And that's why we're going to get into it right now.
Yeah.
So pretty much our future discussion topic is just thinking back now after doing 100 episodes of Ultraranger. Has that changed our opinions on what we think of Ultraman as like a whole, as a franchise? So for me, it has changed my interest in Ultraman a lot. So now I'm with all I've watched, I've been very fascinated with it. It's so good, so well written. These characters you end up really liking. It's made me feel sad for monsters. Like, when monsters fucking die in this show, it's so sad. Like, we just saw a human who got lost on a planet and got turned into a horrible monster, and I felt nothing but fucking pity and sadness for him. So, oh man, and just. Yeah, like Ultraman's just really it's really cool. I have a lot more respect for it now than I did when we first started, because like I already used to make fun of Gar for it, just being like Ultraman, it's so cool, because like all I knew was the Tiga dub. That's all I knew until Ginga came out, and I watched like 5 episodes of Ginga, and I was like, that was okay, I guess this is like what Ultraman's doing now. I'm like, and it just threw me off. But then thanks to Gar, we watched Orb, and Orb was fucking good. So good, we watched it again just to talk about it more in depth, which is why I'm glad we talked about Orb Origin, and then we talked about Orb also.
Yeah.
And then we watched all of New Generation Heroes, we watched everything Zero has to offer, and now we're trying to like get through all the Showa stuff, all the Heisei stuff.
Yeah. And I personally like how, like, throughout the 100 episodes that we've done this show, we have covered everything from the last decade.
That's impressive.
Like, everything from the Zero movie to now, we have covered.
I love that we've done that.
Except for one thing, but that's because it's not subbed and it's kind of just a clip show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the second Ultraman Ginga movie.
Yeah.
It's basically just a kaiju encyclopedia.
Yeah.
But if that ever does get subbed, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it for sure. And I've developed a more like love and like, especially with like merchandise now, because now I've found my favorite Ultraman of all time, Ultraman Belial, and then like my favorite, like I think my 2 favorite Ultraman of all time are definitely Belial and Orb Dark.
It's funny how you said it's like, I found like the merchandise for my favorite character, Ultraman Belial. You only have one thing Belial related.
I have 2, actually.
Oh yeah, you have the vinyl figure.
The vinyl.
And the SH figure.
And I got like Rube crystals and capsules for them.
Oh, yeah, the Ultra
and then there's my favorite title Ultraman, which is Ultraman Jeed, because when you say the next series is about the son of Belial, then obviously I'm going to get super excited and go all in for that. So I thank you, Subraya, for making Jeed. Like, Jeed was so good.
Well, that's also just another thing I want to talk about. In the span of 100 episodes, Subaraya Productions have definitely stepped up. Like, think of it. You had Ultraman Jeed, which was a remarkable series, which was probably the best tokusatsu show of 2017. You had Ultraman Rube, that, it was more comedic and such. Taiga is so far so good. But not even that, but they also have done, like, chronicle shows, or, like, recap shows. They've done, like, they tie everything together with the movies, and like
when they do crossovers, like they fucking do them. Like, usually anytime they need like an Ultraman to come back to reprise the role, they get the fucking person. It's amazing. Like, every time they need Zero comes back.
Yep.
And like they do anniversary series, right? Like Orb again is just a prime example of how to do an anniversary series. And it's so good.
Ultraman, Orb, Kamen Rider Kabuto, and Kaizo, or not Go Kaiju, Dobut Sentai Zooger are the 3 prime examples.
Go Kaiju, you're like, nope.
No. Those 3 shows are definitely a prime example of how you do a good anniversary show. Because, think of it, what do those 3 shows have in common?
Not sure.
they don't acknowledge that they're an anniversary season.
Ah, yes.
They're their own show. They get to do their own thing.
Yeah, because the anniversary...
And they're not they're not forcing it down your throat that it's an anniversary season.
Yeah, like the only thing that we know that's an anniversary for Orb is that, he borrows other Ultraman's powers.
He's using past heroes to fuse together.
Yeah, because he's ashamed of using his original form.
Just he lost it.
And he lost it. And then he got it back.
Yeah.
And just like we've met so many great characters along the way too, like Ginga being what it was, like it was still like enjoyable. Like whenever there was a bad episode, we had a lot to say about it, and
we found Ginga's not good, but it's not the worst.
No,
but like you just said, when it's a bad episode of Ginga, we still had a lot to talk about because it's just
we're having fun.
Yeah, we're having fun with it. And the best part about all these newer shows is that they're so short. Like we can cover them all in like 20 episodes.
That's another great thing. We've gone through so many of these fucking shows because they're just all like 25 episodes each and stuff or less. So, and like we're never gonna see again figure of Ultraman Taro shying away from a girl getting undressed and being like, "I'm gonna look."
Hikaru, I'm looking down.
I'm looking down.
Now that I look back on that thumbnail and like. Doing this show has helped me
become a better editor.
Yeah, become a better editor in like not only in audio, but in like in visuals and Photoshop. Just I feel like if I went back and did that thumbnail now, I feel like I could do it better.
Oh yeah, and just like sure we lost Crunch and Noble a bit through, but like they've moved on to better things and whatever they're interested in right now.
Yeah, it's just.
And I think the show's just better that it's just me and Gar, so...
Like, not saying that we didn't respect Crunch and Noble.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was thanks to them that, we kind of got this show started.
Yeah.
Because, originally, what we planned out was, this was just going to be a spin-off of Enter the Amazon, where it was just going to be us talking about Ultraman Orb, the Origin Saga.
Mm-hmm.
That's only 12 episodes, so we were just going to talk about that, and it's done.
And we were just like, you know what?
And then, I started thinking of it. I'm like, I kind of want to talk about Ginga. But you know what? Gene's also coming out, so we'll start him.
Yeah.
And I think, we finished the Origin Saga.
And then we just decided, hey, let's rewatch Orb and talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about Orb, because then, that way, we can still talk about Orb. Like, we talked about Orb, and then we also talked about, like, Ginga S, X. And keep in mind, this was my third time watching Ultraman Ginga, and my second time watching Ginga S and X, and my second time watching Orb.
Yeah.
Gene, I kind of want to go back and rewatch, and I also want to go back and rewatch Rube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rube we fucking underestimated. We feel so sorry that we like shit on it the way we did.
Yeah.
Because the movie made up. Because again, the Rube movie showed the good aspects of Rube, and then we just looked back at it at Rube and we're like, no, yeah, that was good. Oh, that was good too. Yeah, they were really good at that.
But it's like, and not even just Ultraman. We've also talked about like Kaiju Club.
That was great.
That was a good miniseries. Mm-hmm. We talked about we're still in the midst of talking about Denko Chojin Gridman.
Which, yeah, we would have talked all about SSS's Gridman, and that was like a great anime.
Yeah.
And like, I still feel bad that like I wish we would have watched all of Gridman before we watched that, because then we would have had a lot more. But like again, that final scene of just him just going real Gridman, and we hear the theme playing, and he's in this original suit, and we just like me and Gar lost our shit. It was so like I'll remember that forever.
Mm-hmm.
And Gridman's just been an enjoyable show, and like we're trying to talk about some Godzilla movies, but then we just end up being like, nah, we want to talk about this instead.
The problem with the Godzilla thing though is that like I'm kind of waiting for the Criterion collection to come out for that.
Mm-hmm.
So that way where it's like, okay, if we want to talk about a Godzilla movie, we have like a good chunk of them to talk about.
Yeah, and I'm glad we did that King of the Monsters video where everyone talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good.
That was an awesome idea.
It's a good movie.
And we also have 2 more specials in the works.
And then I thought of a fun little theme month for like the future. I don't know when we'll get to it, but it's a theme month where we talk about like westernized kaiju movies.
Mhm.
So like we'll talk about like Pacific Rim, Colossal, that Anne Hathaway movie where she controls a kaiju,
Yeah.
Cloverfield, because I feel like that'd be a really fun movie to talk about because it's like a found footage movie
Monster
about a
movie.
monster attacks New York City. So
And like we've also come up with like good theme months for other kaiju's, like Mechagodzilla, freaking Mothra, Emily from Castranger, like our friend Emily, like she came up with Mothra idea.
yeah, so we might do a whole month of Mothra.
Gamera, we still need to get to.
Yeah, last summer we were meant to watch all like the Gamera movies, but then we just didn't have time because like I was busy with my like new position in my work. But now that's done. So, but yeah, just like after doing 100 episodes of the show, my opinion on Ultraman is like I love it to death, and I would recommend it to fucking anyone. Like anyone who's into tokusatsu who have not watched Ultraman, just. That's the best thing about Ultraman. You can start anywhere you want. And then after you watch a series, if you're interested in finding out, oh, what are these other guys about? Go for it.
I would definitely recommend, like, if someone's getting into Ultraman, I always recommend the original series first. Like,
For me, I'd recommend Orb.
You'd recommend Orb?
Because Orb, you get a little sample of like everyone.
Good point.
Like you get a sample of everyone. I'd probably also recommend the Zero movie.
Yeah, the Zero stuff I would also recommend. Genga's hard to recommend.
I wouldn't. I think I would just recommend Genga for completionist's sake.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're interested in watching the new generation heroes, then like put that on your list. But like I'd recommend either Orb first or
Like I remember
Zero.
my friends I remember my friend watching Genga S, and I'm like, oh, what do you think of Genga? And
what?
and he's like, oh, I didn't watch that, and I'm like, wait, so you're watching the sequel series before before you watch the original show? And it's like, oh, I just didn't like it. It's like the second season's not going to make sense if you don't watch it though.
And for me, like my goal for 2020 is I want to watch the entirety of Ultraman Cosmos. So I'm really gonna stick to my guns for that. So I'm really gonna watch all of Cosmos. Gar's gonna like make a list for me of like watching order because apparently there's like a prequel movie that happens. So,
but everything's easy to find for Cosmos. It's just getting it all together. So.
But like I am stoked to watch Cosmos because I just think the concept of like a pacifist Ultraman who like really doesn't kill but instead tries to tame kaijus is fascinating. And I already do know Spoiler Cosmos where he has like his own planet and kind of like a safe haven for kaijus, and he has a family apparently.
Oh
so,
yeah, because in Saga.
Yeah, so I kind of got spoiled for that, but now I'm more so just motivated because I want to see the journey of how he gets there. And like, so, and like, I watched the first episode of Cosmos already. I really enjoyed it, but I'm going to rewatch it again just so I can start. But yeah, my goal is to watch the entirety of Cosmos, and then when we talk about it on Ultraranger, then bam.
One of my goals would for this show is to always make sure that it's the best that it can possibly be. And that's one thing that I'm going to try and start doing a bit more of after this. Which, so like for the episode screenshots, basically, instead of taking a shot from the episode, basically take everything that we saw in the episode, make it into the wallpaper for the episode.
Yeah.
For the episode.
That's going to be really cool.
And, sorry, I have a bit of a frog in my throat right now. Hope it's on Ancestor.
God damn it. Watch Cowabungus on Castranger now.
Oh yeah, go watch Cowabungus. I'm thankful for this show actually getting views.
Yeah. I mean, when we had a picture of fucking Akane and Rika as our thumbnail, that fucking skyrocketed.
Oh, it's currently like our 5th highest grossing video that we have.
Damn, like on the channel entirely?
On the channel entirely.
Yeah, we almost have like 900 subscribers. I have no idea why the fuck we have been. I think we just have bots, but you know what?
Ultraman.
But you know what? We'll fucking take it. So
you know what? Aliens are finding our show.
Aliens
are finding our shows.
But yeah, like, I really love Ultraman now. Guard, like, thank you so much for, like, getting me into this, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, and I've really bonded with you as friends because of this. So that's why I love to keep doing this with you, because it, like, you know, keeps our bond strong. So we're like Guy and Chugless Juggler.
Oh. Wait, so I'm evil?
I guess so.
I know. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it.
Oh yeah.
Again, just nothing big for episode 100, because you know what? I feel like if this was a video formatted show, then yeah, I guess we would have to do something big for episode 100.
I don't want to see our ugly mugs.
But well, it's not even that. But maybe it's just like, eh.
Yeah.
You know, it's a podcast. Every episode's the same, or not every episode's the same, but basically, you know, keep going.
Oh yeah.
And if
episode 101 is gonna be a fucking party.
Oh yeah, we're taking a quick break for a week, simply because I need to go do something. I need to go do something.
Go save a galaxy.
Well, yeah, in a sense.
Yeah, you know, you're taking Ultimate Zero's form. You're gonna go to another dimension.
Yeah, I gotta go do something quickly for a week, and then when I come back, I'll be fully ready for another 10 more episodes. Because the way that I planned it, we got 10 more episodes left of this year.
So hopefully we get to 110.
Yeah, so yeah, hopefully we get to episode 110. But I guess that wraps up this episode of Kaiju Sentai Ultraranger, episode 100.
We love Ultraman.
We love Ultraman. We love Ultraman.
Yeah. Thank you, Subaraya.
Yeah. And
you took something from nothing.
Episode 101 will definitely include a new opening.
Definitely. It's going to be more simple.
Yeah, more simple, more straight to the point.
We're not going to be out of sync for
Yeah. Worst part is that in the future, when I want to go back and re-edit this show, it's just going to be like, shit, I forgot about this opening.
Shit, here we go again.
Shit, here we go again. Alrighty. As always,
schwa for now.
And we'll see you in the next 100 episodes.
Damn right.